Hello, hi guys. Welcome.
This is our second live.
Yes.
Live talk of Sunday tea with Alona.
And Aleece. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're excited that you have taken the time and you're going to be present with us for the next half an hour.
Our topic for today is the power of dressing for your future self. As always, another deep conversation.
And we're going to try to cover that.
Yes.
Half an hour.
Yes. We'll do our best.
At least some of it. We may not get into the full
extreme.
Yes.
Yeah. But it'll be good. Well, and hopefully that will stir up some more questions and comments.
Sure.
We had people commenting from our last tune-in, so we are kind of filtering through and seeing what that looks like for our next show, as we already had this one planned out. So keep those comments coming in. We'd love to hear from you and your feedback about what you want to know or discuss, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Yes. Would love to hear from you guys.
So, where do we want to start on this? Alona, the power of dressing for your future self. So, to me, I think of like future self is what will I be in tomorrow, next week, month, year. If people do that 5-year plan kind of thing. Or even, your career change or move. I feel like when we have it in our brain about where we're at in our job right now, it's probably not the job of your dreams, and maybe you're thinking in the future of that 5-year plan, where will I be? Mm-hmm. So what that looks like could be anything for anyone.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah,
so that's,
and it's not a traditional route, right?
Correct. Yes. Overall, I think when it comes to this subject, the reason that I would like to step into it a little bit earlier in the state when we are doing the talk show, even though it's a deeper conversation, but it's also gonna start you off on the right path.
Yeah.
Simply because for many years, choice of clothing used to be it's an indication of wealth. It's an indication of status. Correct.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you would find people only who were wealthy or wanted to be in certain class that actually went for the labels, went for tailored look, right?
Also, I feel like, fashion designers, right? It's like limited edition. It's
Correct.
VIP. You can't get it anywhere, and that is the price tag in which you're going to pay for it.
Exactly, yes. But with so many resale options, right?
Yes, secondhand stores. I have found some amazing brand labels at secondhand stores going, how is this even here? How did they give this away? It's in pristine condition. But, our lifestyles change and our styles change.
Correct. But then at the same time, it's the resale plus the rental platforms that allow you to actually step into that, which used to be a VIP role or VIP segment, right, of only certain people. Now anybody can do that, and it's no longer exclusive. It's no longer as unique as it used to be.
It's available.
Back in the 100 years ago or 50 years ago, we even say.
Yeah.
So it's more the role of clothing have shifted from clothing that actually shows your status to clothes that expresses who you are, that actually tells you your who you are, who you want to be, and it's about the style.
Yeah.
It's about
who you are.
That's
or who you want to be.
Who
right?
you want to be, yes.
And I think, when you're thinking about who you want to be, what that future looks like, expressing yourself in certain ways, right? With the style, colors, what that looks like in what you're required to specifically have, right? Like I think we brought up the lawyer example in our last live, and it was like, oh, well, you think that a lawyer is required to wear the traditional suits, tailored, etc. But in the sense of being able to having the power of dressing for your future self, it can literally be anything. It's up to you. So.
What I would like to add also in regards to the jobs, like you brought up the lawyer. We are so kind of we can be so set into our routines. Yes, we can be whatever we want to be, but we are creatures of habits, and our routine can just be so hard to be changed. So what with this topic, what I would like to actually kind of go into is the fact that our mentality is the turning key to who we become, who we are. Just like you get up in the morning, right? Just like you choose to go to a grocery store to get ice cream, you can choose to change your
mental state, essentially.
Yes.
I love, as like a yogi would say, I don't know if anyone's done mirror work or have tried the sense of like sitting in front of a mirror and doing, self-talk. If you're like down and you're sad and you look at yourself and you do the fake smile, you're like, and you just hold it and you try to keep smiling at yourself. Essentially, you end up smiling and you're like, I feel great, right? So using that mentality of being like, hey, today I'm going to feel amazing and not put those sweatpants on.
Yes.
I think we all existed in COVID, and that was an easy choice for us.
Well, and still is for so many people, where they went into where so many careers have changed, and not maybe necessarily careers, but the routine of those jobs have changed from going into the office to being at home. And if your career was office related and you had to put on a nice suit, and now you can put on a nice jacket and keep the whatever bottom that you want. It's great in the picture. It works well. But think about your mentality. Just because a lot of times, talking about self-care is like a subject that has been taught for so many years and by so many people, but at the same time we reflect who we are. Who you are internally reflects who you are externally. If you are at a starting point and you want to change the internal, you have to kind of it's a back and forth game. You have to start also with the external to reassure your internal.
Yeah, it's
because you're gonna
support system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you are wanting to, let's say you're an employer, an average employer in a big firm, and yet you want to be a, let's say, CEO of the firm, right?
Moving up.
And not only moving up, but moving up significantly.
Yeah.
And let's say you have not had that experience yourself, nor in your family there has not been anyone who has been on the higher positions. You as a human being knows about yourself that you are only can go so far up. For you mentally, whether you consciously you may think that yes, I want to do this, yes, I'm ready, but your internal self knows about you only that you can do so far. So to break the habit and break the negative self-talk, that the limitations. The limitations that you don't even realize. You have to actually position yourself as the person who already in that spot, in that moment, rather than trying to, but be already and act like you're already there.
You're in it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which honestly, it makes so much sense, because if you're not dressing the part, right? The world unfortunately judges, like we all know.
Yes.
I don't judge people. That's where I'm at in my life of the ego self. I've learned not to judge people, because you don't know what they could be wearing one day and literally the next day. And so with our mental state of mind. So if you do want that job, you want that next step, that level up, and not limiting yourself, go out there and invest and buy that thing that's going to make you feel powerful.
Sure.
And in that role already, it's just going to already elevate your feelings about what, who you are and where you're going to be.
Correct. And the important part with this is that you're gonna break the barriers that kind of come essentially from you, because you are not used to being in that role. B, you're gonna get compliments from people. Well, sometimes compliments, sometimes you may get a snotty comment like, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to prove something? But importantly, forget about other people, because you have decided for yourself what you want, and if you have mapped it already, stick to your goals.
Yes.
That's the best scenario, and comments will always come and go. But if you're gonna try to do it this way, you will be more successful on a longer run, and you will achieve your goals much faster, rather than waiting for that position to open up.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, or the example that we're using of CEO is not it's not like the only thing. But anytime you wanna just go to a next level, and that you are not comfortable with, that you can feel the resistance, whether internal or external, that is the best way to do it, actually, to step into the role and be in it already. And eventually things will line up where you will get there. But clothing as that element where we talked about in the previous segment, we talked about
there's so much we talked about in the half an hour.
Boards, the vision boards, right?
Oh yeah, about what your style looks like. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But that is, you can use the vision board and actually implement it and use it now in order to be there in that future, but use it for a present time.
Yeah, I just have to do a shout out. Callie Marie Style. She says, "Love this. Status has nothing to do with style," and that's 100%.
Yes. And Kelly, you are the one who would definitely know, because you definitely have the style. You are amazing.
Yeah, so with the mentality, the state of mind, I mean, I think about the power of dressing for your future self too, which I know we've hit upon before, of like environmental effects, like what that can portray to us on our mental state. Like, oh, what is that traditional view? So I, as a little share for all of you, born and raised Catholic Christian girl, so my upbringing was, very conservative. There was an argument on, what my swimsuits would look like in the summertime. It's just one of those things where you're in a conservative family, and that's totally fine, because that is your tradition, and that's what you approve and what your lifestyle is like. But as the years went on and I went to travel the world, I saw more, I learned more, and it just, broke me open, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to do and try. And so my lifestyle changed. Like, I don't think I'd ever wear this dress back then. So evolving and being able to express yourself and do those things. I'm definitely not who I was way back when, just like most people are. You evolve and you change. But yeah, that environment versus my future was two different things.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We can use clothing as the bridge to fill the gap between who we used to be, who we are now, to who we want to become. And that way we are breaking the barriers that, or I guess it's one way to break the barriers in order to improve yourself, improve your quality of life. Because when we are changing our knowledge about who we are, for instance, like if you were told growing up that you are not able to do certain things, that you are not capable of doing certain things, maybe somebody have called you stupid and it just stuck with you. What you're gonna learn about yourself for the rest of your life?
I feel like I'd have that stupid in my mind.
Exactly, and no matter what you do, you're gonna feel that about yourself. But same thing, and also you could have had the same type of
traditional views?
No, like feelings about certain clothes. You know, certain clothes can also remind you of who you were.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you change your style, that also can give you a totally like the meaning of the clothes. Like, you know, when you listen to a song, it brings the memory.
Whole memory flashback.
Correct. Clothing can do the same way. It can trigger the emotions, and it can trigger reactions that we actually either are going for or, well, hopefully going for.
Well, yeah. Which in turn, if this would go way deep into this conversation, which in turn goes into judgment of people.
Correct.
It is that mere reflection, right? We're usually judging people based on our past experiences or those limitations because of what we've been taught, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna judge them for this, and really you're just judging yourself, which is it's heartbreaking. Yeah, wow. Okay, so we won't dive down that little rabbit hole. Maybe save that for another day. So what would you say to a person who is taking that step into dressing for themselves in the future? How would you use it as a tool?
Well, kind of like what we have said before, you can determine what your future is gonna look like. You know, figure out who you want to be. What is this person? What kind of quality possesses? What possibly lifestyle that might be. Figure out what garments would fit that role, and start using them for everyday life. When you brought up COVID, that's like a killer.
Don't be triggered, anyone.
Well, because after COVID, so many people have went into that leisure lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's good for a short period of time, if you ask me. But at the same time, clothing develops character. Clothing develops expression, but also like human character.
Oh yes.
You know, and
your
so
personality.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. When you start going for leisure only and you don't go for other styles, you're losing I don't want to say you're losing the ability, but you're not using your full potential.
Yeah.
And with that you are limiting yourself to what the future is going to look like.
It's having that elevated feeling.
Correct. Yes.
As we call it, picado casual.
This is picado casual, by the way.
Yeah, picado casual.
In case you didn't know, this is it.
Yeah, I love that, elevated feeling, because, there's also people, which I have, as those favorite objects in the closet or items of accessories. Like, I get excited because I'm like, ooh, this is fantastic. Like, I get to wear this. And it should really be every day you feel the excitement and appreciation for those items that are in your closet that you're wearing every day. Like, wouldn't you want to feel that every day instead of being like, hey, I could be a couch potato today. I could be a couch potato in this, trust me. It's not going to stop me one way or the other. But also using that aspect of your mental state to want your future. What did you say that really hit it was like emotions, your feeling of that internal self, right? So if you feel like the internal CEO, then you're going to reflect that on the outside as a CEO. And that's just, it's mind-boggling what the brain can do, but right, even just in the mirror, we see our reflection every day. And if we don't see ourselves in a Picado casual attire, then we miss out on those elevated feelings, right? Those hormones, all those good hormones. It's like, let's just fuel those hormones. That's good stuff. So, the expression of self. And I also feel like as a yogi, I wear a lot of athletic wear. We kind of touched base on that. We'll bust out our introductions of ourselves a little bit later. But athletic wear is a big part of my life. So it's kind of leisurely, but also when I have that as an identity, I also have so many other groups that I'm involved in, right? Like, as being a theatrical nerd, I love having to play with color and fun and just be expressive. And I know I've just been influenced by so many people out there that take that as a tool, right, to express themselves in clothing. And it's a beautiful thing. It's inspiring to me because I'm like, oh, you can do that? I had no idea.
And so many people actually, over the years of working at the store and seeing the transformations that people have done, that is so inspiring to see that just a couple of pieces of clothing can do that to a human, where you go from a very shut down state of mind to scared in a sense to very beautiful, open, and
liberated.
Yes, it is just incredibly fulfilling to see that in people. And luckily I've been able to touch those people's those
lives.
Those lives. And to be able to actually see the result of it. So I know that to some people, it's talking about clothing and the fact that it does on lives doesn't mean much, but reality shows, and also studies do show, like the Northwestern University did a study in 2012, how the clothing can actually change your character and also trigger the qualities that you did not possess before, but because it was associated with the piece of clothing that they were able to express themselves in a much better way. And so there are actually proven results that are there, that clothing can take you to the next level of your own evolution.
Which is very cool, because I think about when I, put on a dress. I don't really always wear a dress. When I put on that dress, I feel very feminine and ladylike, and it's that, like, where I'm turning on that, that light switch. And I could imagine, like, a man, right, where they put on that tux and their tie, and they're just, I'm manly man, and or even there's the fluid where you can just wear whatever that makes you feel like yourself, and then at that point you are in it. And I think that's it's empowering. It's very cool.
Yeah. So definitely the choices that we make on daily basis, it's a chain of events. One leads to another, and when you feel good, again, we mentioned that in the previous talk, is that your feeling leads to much bigger results. It attracts more in your life. What you express is what you get. And when you wear something that actually makes you feel good, you're gonna get that good in return, right? The law works. What you give is what you get.
Yes. Yeah. What you put in is what you get out.
Correct. Yeah. So wearing something that makes you actually feeling good and perkling inside is
that sparkle we want.
Yeah.
I love it. So we are at our last 5 minutes of the show already. Let's see. We've got so many people who tuned in today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My gosh, look at all the people.
Thank you guys for coming. We're excited.
Callie Verlis. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. Curated by SG Home. G. Elenium. Diva Charmin. Alburnham. And then Christina. I'm not gonna try to even attempt that last name. I'm gonna totally botch that. And Christina. So thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate it. And then if any of you have comments that you want to leave below, we would love to hear about your feelings on today's topic. Anything that you wanted to dive further into. We have topics on that we have planned for the next few sessions. So it's kind of crazy that we've already talked for a half an hour, but it just flies by.
Yes,
it really does.
Well, and a cool thing also that we'll have some topics in the future that will be that you can join in and be present with us in person, and there will be probably in July. We'll keep you guys posted. So if you're in Petoskey, or if you want to plan a trip to Petoskey, that will be a perfect time, and you can come join us and be present,
be live with us essentially, because we've got some locations other than this one. So you might just see us out and about and hop in and see the actual live work.
Correct. Yes.
So do you have anything to close off today, Alona, for the last few minutes? Anything else?
I think I guess the overall kind of to summarize it, right? Use your imagination. Use your imagination to serve you to serve you good, because our imagination is a powerful tool, and when you use it in combination with action, because we can a lot of people used to act without thinking. It's kind of like a natural reaction. I'm ready, I'm going, what I'm doing, I don't know. But I'm gonna do it. Like sometimes I'll get in the groove and I'm full on hands-on experience. But pausing, stepping back and pausing and thinking, what is it that I'm doing? Where I'm going with this? How is it correct? Very intentional. And same thing with your wardrobe. Use your wardrobe intentionally so you get the best out of it.
I love that.
It's great to use pieces that makes you feel good here right now, but also it's extremely powerful tool to use it for the future self of you.
Love that.
So.
And with that, I'm going to send everyone a challenge right now.
Ooh.
I know.
I'm going to get a challenge.
Spicy. Which I think you'll already do this. But I'm going to challenge everyone to pick out your clothes the night before. The future self, right? Tomorrow is your future self. So whatever you have plans for that day, maybe it's a meeting with someone, maybe you're going to the beach, because it's coming around that weather. It's still chilly here in northern Michigan, so beach time is a little different for us, but for those of you in the south, it's a lot easier. Yeah. But pick out your clothes the night before. Save yourself some time and some frustration in the morning, and go from there.
Yes. And then share, please, without your results, because we would love
and
to
tag us.
Yes, because we would actually love to hear. It can be very challenging to figure out, not the last moment, but actually decide what you're gonna wear and actually execute it
and do it. Follow through.
Correct. because you can decide, but then you back off
Yeah, you're
like 5 minutes before. So once you've decided, stick to it and tell us, how does it make you feel afterwards? Where you are with your emotional state of mind before and after. This will be that step to your
Future self.
yeah.
I love it. That's great. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. This is Alona.
And this is Aleece.
We'll see you next time on Sunday Tea at 3.